That lasts 1 minute a level. So I can put that on the tank.
Give the order.
Okay. Oh, she can also load spells. Al's wisdom. Sure. Alright,
No.
so... Spell... no. Where is it? Put that there. Alright. Quick save, so I don't have to ever do that again. Hello, Munkajat. Hi, Skooma. How you doing? Dagger mark, guess. How's your day? It's been good. I fought Dracula for 4 hours. Had some good food. Hung out with the fam. Played Grounded with the boy. And then, now, I have been invited to King Irovedi's tournament, where he's hiding the terrible state of his country by throwing this lavish party. And we're invited. The path to splendid glory.
Follow me! Or don't.
Applause, please.
Wand of Blur and Hideous Laughter, Scroll of Chain Lightning, and Scroll of Fiery Body. What is this? You can't be here. This is Highness King Irovedi's camp. I'm aware. He's the one who invited me. We're not supposed to allow anyone in. If the king commands it, we will, but at this point, you could be a thief for all we know. I'll be going. Keep going. Okay. Shell and spare me, not Tartuccio. Mm-hmm. Italia Gitarin. Is that what I'm looking for? Greetings, Your Highness. I'm Italia Gitarin, headmaster of the Academy of Grand Arts. Welcome to the tournament. Is this your first time here? I'll be honest, I'm delighted to hear what you've done with the lab. Not so long ago, it was little more than a hole in the ground, but you brought it real civilization. Bravo. Lindsay has some interesting news for you. Yes! Professor Eobald found refuge in our capital, and you know what? He's writing his memories of his time at the Academy. I'm sure it'll be entertaining read for everyone in Pitax. No, all of Avestan. A book, you say? How brave of him. I hope he doesn't neglect to include the details of his dismissal. Italia's voice is ice cold and bone dry. What details? What do you mean? Irovedi kicked Professor Eobald out for just being too smart, didn't he? I'm sure that's exactly how he described it. They call him the insightful for a reason, after all. Anyway, forgive me, but I've no interest in discussing this topic further. If you'd like to exchange idle gossip, I'm sure you can find more willing and interesting company here. I suspect you know to whom I am referring.
Not that I care.
Okay. Well, that's done. Talk to Timon? Look, it's the king of the lab. Honored to meet you. Animede? Oh, Mukluk, famed Baron. No, excuse me, king of the lab now, has come to visit us. Such a delight to see you here. Maestro Bellavara. Well, do you remember me? Lindsay blurts out, turning red. Ah, Lindsay, of course I remember you. You and your nonsense at the poetics exam. I hear you have your own publishing house now. I didn't take you for the entrepreneurial, sir, but I'm happy to finally see you found your calling. I believe Lindsay had a question for you. Oh, I just hope it isn't about any of the lectures I used to give at the Academy. Go ahead, ask away. Animede smiles encouragingly at Lindsay. Lindsay turns bright red, takes a deep breath, and blurts out, Sorry, but I really need to know the truth. Why did Irovedi kick Professor Eobald out of the Academy? Ah, yes, he did move to your kingdom, didn't he? I'm curious how he portrayed his dismissal. I'll bet it was something like a poem in 6 verses recounting the tale of a tyrant ousting a poor but honest scientist for telling the truth. The reality is much more mundane. Irovedi didn't fire Eobald. Italia did. And I have to give it to her. This time, unlike most times, she was completely right. What am I hearing? A respected scholar, an author of so many books, articles, and memorandums lied? Unbelievable. That can't be. Why did Italia expel Eobald? Well, Eobald is a very fine teacher, of course, but he pays too much attention to how his favorite students perform in class, and not enough to their extracurricular activities. Why worry if they steal a trinket here or there, or maybe rough someone up on occasion, as long as their poetry and music are exemplary? Predictably, this led to a sad end, which was supposed to be just another innocent joke from one of his favorites, Alondi. Oh, we'd left him in the woods. led to someone's death. It was an accident, certainly. The kids just underestimated their own strength. Have you played Pillars of Eternity? Yes, I have.
Mukluk dancing.
Yeah, my second YouTube channel has the full recording if you are interested in watching that. Italia expelled a lot of them, and as always, Eobald went to stand up for them, but this time he discovered that her patience was not boundless. She blamed him, said that he'd let his troublemakers run wild so he could get out of the academy along with them. She told him she won't tolerate any more bullying, even if it's coming from genius students. I understand it's odd to hear won't tolerate from Italia Gitterin, but that's really what happened. Pale, Lindsay looks at Anomede with huge eyes, unable to utter a word. If Irovetti didn't banish Eobald, why did he send cutthroats after him? He'd planned to return the old man to Patax and make Italia reinstate him into the academy, or, failing that, he at least wanted to keep him from going to you. Eobald the Insightful is a prominent name. Of course, Irovetti would want the teacher serving him rather than his neighbors. Why would Italia hide the circumstances around Eobald's dismissal? She doesn't like to discuss Academy's internal affairs. Behind the neat facade, there are too many events that she's looked the other way on over the years. All in good faith, of course. Thank you for telling us the truth. I'm not sure you should be thanking me. I see poor Lindsay's not too happy with this truth. Hey, come on, girl, cheer up. Being disappointed by people is practically a professional necessity for people like us. Whatever I may have said before, you're not a bad bard. And that means sometimes you have to face the music. Lindsay gulps and whispers, thank you. Who might you recommend I meet here? That depends on what you're looking for. If you're in the mood for pleasant company, well, you've already met me. And if you're in the mood for some schadenfreude, you could listen to the whining of Gaspier Liasenza. His family lost the Pataxian crown in a card game. Or maybe Italia Gitterin, the headmaster of the academy, who seems to think her skill at bureaucracy makes her a good bard. And if thrills are what you're after, especially the shivers down your spine kind, try speaking with Karn Varil, head of the Thieves Guild. There's an option that says you look like a spy and attack her. Farewell. Enjoy the celebration. I can't believe it. Teacher lied to me all this time? I'm gonna learn the truth as soon as we get back to the capital. I mean, you already accused him of not paying attention to his students when you... You guys remember earlier when Lindsay, we ran into Eobald and his students, and Lindsay pointed at one of them and said, you made my life a living hell our whole childhood. And the teacher never punished you or anything like that, and she kicked that guy out. So it seems like we already knew that he did stuff like this. Like, he just turned the other, he turned the other way. Your Royal Highness, welcome to the Rushlight Tournament. My name is Nunzio Arpaia, and I have the honor of being His Highness King Irovetti's Master of Ceremonies. You could say the organization of this tournament rests on my shoulders. If you need anything, I'm at your disposal. Let's see, what events are on, let's see, I'm ready to participate in the Fisher's Triathlon. Let's begin. Trumpets sounded over the arena, announcing the commencement of the Fisher's Triathlon. Do we fish while running? We were to distinguish ourselves in 3 sports, if you could call them such. You be the judge, dear reader. The first round was fish carrying, if you can believe it. They built narrow bridges over pits of mud and placed barrels on either end, one side filled with fish and the other side empty. The goal was to get all the fish from one side to the other, barehanded, without falling into the mud. I'm sure this is just what you imagined for a royal tournament. Throwing fish at your opponents was prohibited, but there was one unofficial but well understood rule in this tournament. Don't get caught. We had to decide which of us would participate as well as how fair we wanted to play. Wow, so we will absolutely fail the athletics check. Stealth 30, we tried to cheat by discreetly throwing fish at our opponents. Have our goblin do it. Imagine being like, knock knock, you need to behave, be good, you're living in human society. And then the moment we get to a situation like this, throw a fish at that guy. Competing honestly among such company would be more embarrassing than losing. As Knock Knock ran across the bridges with heaps of fish in his arms, he deftly tossed a fish beneath the feet of the Gralton competitor who slipped and fell in the mud. Another fish found its way into the Daggermark competitor's forehead, sending him down alongside the Graltoner. The judges didn't notice a thing. We won the first round. The second round was untying knots. Competitors would be tied up on poles resembling ship masts, and they had to escape the ropes. We again had a choice to make. We noticed a sharpened coin glistening in the Daggermark competitor's mouth, and the Gralton participant had a blade in hand. We exposed the cheaters, leaving us with fewer rivals. The judges escorted the cheaters out of the arena, the crowd laughing and whistling all the while. With a third of the competition gone, Lindsay easily outpaced the others, untangling the ropes and making her way to the judges, while the others still wriggled in their bonds like flies in a spiderweb. We'd won 2 out of 3 rounds. We seemed to have our victory in the bag, but with rivals we were dealing with, there was no time to relax. The last round of the tournament was diving the River Pearls. Huge tubs were filled with mussels and river water, and some empty jars had been placed on sets of scales. We'd have to open the mussels with our bare hands, gather pearls, and deposit them in our team's jar. Of course, if playing fair wasn't a priority, we could try weighing down the jar with other things as well. Trickery. Okay, this is the highest chance of success. We tried to cheat by slipping some pebbles into our jar. Success. Lindsay bravely dove into the muddy water and started opening shells, breaking her nails in the process. Ugh. She got fistfuls of pearls into her jar as fast as she could, slipping in an occasional pebble, pinch of sand, or dollop of mud when possible. When time was up, her jar was the heaviest, a victory for us. Soon we stood on the pedestal as the judges awarded our team the victory. We were wet, muddy, and the smell of fish, but we grinned with joy all the same. Yo, chat, does healing magic restore broken fingernails? Because fingernails aren't alive, are they? Aren't they like after they've grown out? Makes you think. Participate in the second. Okay, that's it. We won the first tournament. Boop, 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 boop. Talk to Nunzio. Find Nunzio. You need regeneration for that. High level druid magic. Stefano Mascani. Who are you? Since your last encounter, Stefano has put on a little weight, and his appearance hasn't become even more festive. As you approach, a polite smile blooms on his face. Why, if it isn't King Mukluk, please allow me to congratulate you on your success. So we meet again, and not on the battlefield. Assuming this tournament isn't a trap, of course. Of course not. It may be hard to believe, but King Irovetti's intentions are quite honest this time. Trust me, he'll make a move sooner or later, but for now he's invited you for the chance to see a new rival with his own eyes. I'll let you in on a little secret. He actually thinks very highly of you. So Irovetti considers me a rival? I didn't think I'd given him any cause for a feud. The unfortunate reality is that your very existence, along with the strength your kingdom has acquired, is case enough. What would happen were you to join with Mivon against Patax, or perhaps you might seek to extend your lands west and not stop at the border? What if merchants from Bravoy began traveling through your lands, bypassing Patax entirely? And of course, the most important question, Mascani grins turned predatory, do you sit securely on your throne, or does Patax stand a chance of expanding east? At least you're honest with me. I think nothing of it. I have great interest in seeing how events will unfold. Farewell. Until we meet again, and I'm sure we will. Wait, hold on. What was the name of the person I gotta find? Nunzio Arpaia. Found some books. Here is he? An elf in leather armor scans the crowd intently. He seems to be the only one at the celebration not participating. He is also the only one besides the guards whose weapon isn't sealed. Your Highness, welcome to Patax. Irse Kelise, captain of the city guard, at your service. Who might you recommend I meet here? That depends on the purpose of your visit. If you're here on business, well, you already know King Irovetti, of course, but it would be worth your time to speak to Gaspier Licienza, of course. The trading houses may have lost much of their power, but they're still capable of many things. And if you'd like to partake in our renowned culture, there's Anamid Belvara, the famous bard in our city, and Natalia Gitarin as well, headmaster of the academy. Just take care. They can't stand one another. All right, farewell. Be careful. Zingmirga? Okay. Is that a name or like a race of a person? I can't interact with her. Time to guess. Mysteriano. Manticore. Remembering that Baldur's Gate 3 circus where the beast escaped the cages.
I did it. I did.
I did it. I did.
Not that I care.
Let's see. What's the name of the person again? Nunzio. There. Oh, that's the same one from the first thing. I guess I just had to talk to him again after winning the early tournaments. The ball to get through it. Yeah, it's... Oh my god. It's done, Jackals. It wasn't even a big spoiler, just beast. Your Royal Highness, welcome to the Rushlight Tournament. The name is Nunzio Arpaia, and I have the honor of being His Highness King Irovidi's Master of Ceremonies. You could say the organization of this tournament rests on my shoulders. If you need anything, I'm at your disposal. I'm ready to participate in the boasting contest. Let's begin. The tournament continued with a boasting contest. The first participant, a man from Daggermark, stepped up to the podium and told a raunchy story about him sneaking into the Temple of Callistria and seducing all the priestesses, including the High Priestess, in a single night. The crowd was particularly amused by the suggestive glances he kept casting toward one of the guests from Timon. She simply smiled mysteriously in response. The second participant was a guest from Gralton, who told a completely implausible tale about his travels across other planes where he battled undead hordes and defeated a blood-curdling monster. He was an average storyteller at best. He'd be lucky to get a C for that story at the Academy, but the listeners were inexplicably elated. Suspicious, we took a closer look at the crowd and... Of course, we spotted a bard using some tricks of the trade and likely a little magic to aid the Gralton man's performance. I can murder him? The only thing I can do, which is guaranteed success, is just kill the guy. This is a 12 out of 20%, 12 out of 20 chance of succeeding. Quietly warned the bard we would shut him up if he kept interfering. Success. The bard got the message and quickly disappeared. Without the bard's support, the guest from Gralton immediately lost the audience's approval. As he grew more nervous, he began mumbling and stumbling over his words, and he eventually left the podium among jeers and whistles. Then, it was Pitax's turn. The kingdom's honor was represented by Anamede Belvara, a sweet-voiced singer whose smile could win over the most withered of hearts. Oh, Anamede. But while her voice was smoother than silk, her words stung like arrows. With a soft smile, Anamede told everyone how she'd spent months in our kingdom learning our secrets and instigating a riot. Of course, the honest trade of the bard and the shady dealings of the spy often go hand in hand, but, oh, Anamede, who could have expected such an ugly blow from such a lovely lady? She described in surprising and exceptionally critical detail how much the citizens of our young state suffered under the atrocities of the troll assaults of the magical plague. She never stooped to actual lies, but she made it sound as though our king, Baron at the time, was simply drinking and debauching while his subjects struggled. She made our crusade against Mordecai look like a cunning conquest of Varnhold, and the war with the Tiger Lords was characterized as an irresponsible venture. Talk about cruel and unfair. When Anamede finished and left the stage, it was our turn to perform. And what feats did our participant decide to tell in their performance? Oh, I love this. This is a 17 out of 20 chance to succeed. In response to Anamede's story, we recounted how we dealt with Tartusio, one of Irovedi's spies. Failed? Oh my god, we rolled a 2. I had to roll a 3. Looking meaningfully at Anamede, Lindsay spoke of the sad fate that befell the last of Irovedi's spies and what may be in store for any other spies we may come across. Lindsay used all the eloquence she could bring to bear, but the audience barely paid any attention, giving her little more than polite applause as she left the podium. The woman from Timon, a priestess of Callistria, went last. She told stories of her love affairs in faraway countries and on other planes, casually mentioning an unpleasant disease she'd contracted over her journeys that took her a long time to get rid of. Hearing that, the participant from Daggermark paled and grabbed at his belt, bringing roaring laughter from the rest of the audience. And finally, the judges announced the winner, Anamede Belvara. The beautiful singer walked up to the podium to take another bow, casting a vicious glare our way. It was once again amazed by how deceptive appearances can be. I like how there's actually a picture of Lindsay standing on a barrel because she's so short. Unfortunate. Participate in the third tournament. Alright, so we won the first one and lost the second. Dude, that sucks. I had to roll a 3 or higher and I rolled a 2. That sucks. Is Lindsay a halfling or no? I'm pretty sure she's a halfling. She got big old feet in her picture. I'm ready for the drunken melee. Let's begin. It will be splendid. Wait, is this just an actual fight? I hear buffing.
Entertainment.
Can I use abilities? No, I wanted to summon a boogeyman. All right. Step 1. We let them fight each other.
Out of my way.
Oh, I got hit with an attack of opportunity. All right. All right, so what we're gonna do here is wait until there's one left.
I don't like you.
Wow, he roundhouse kicked a gnome in the face. I love it.
Oh.
Does this use my actual strength stat? Oh, I've got a +3 modifier. It's not the worst. Getting nervous. I'm half health. I can't use any abilities, so I think... Oh, he just crit me. Awesome.
Now I'm angry.
Oh, yes, wow. I was getting worried because I couldn't see his health bar. I didn't know how much health he had left. Learn the results of the tournament. Okay. Save? Yeah, I will. Hey, super short story for you guys. This reminds me of a thing. Back when I played World of Warcraft and Warlords of Draenor, they had this event that was kind of like a thing you could queue for. It was a PvP thing in one of the zones in WoD, I don't remember which one. And it was like a coliseum, and like, I don't know, 20, 30, 40 people would get dropped in there, and it was a PvP free-for-all. And the, it was last man standing wins. And I was trying to do it for an achievement. It was because I was an achievement hunter at the time. And it was just to win it once, which meant you had to be last man standing. So basically, I did it the way you just saw. I just avoided fights and was running around the edges until, as many people had been whittled down as possible. But an extra funny thing is I was using a some kind of like just fun toy item that made me look like a wolf. And I was a Death Knight. And people thought I was a shaman. And so like there's down to like 1 or 2 guys left. And people that were down were like, you respawn on the sidelines, and they were yelling like, get the shaman. He's just waiting till there's only one of you left. And like they were jeering me and stuff like that. And then I went in there and started spamming like Heart Strike, which is like a Death Knight life-stealing move. And they're like, what the hell? He's a Death Knight. Because I was like a blood tank Death Knight that looked like a shaman, and then I was just beating the absolute hell out of the last 2 people. And it was just funny because like the way that panned out just reminded me greatly of that. And I got my 1 win. I won it once. The tournament is finished. Who won? Yes, His Highness is just about to make a speech announcing the winner. Look, everyone's gathering around now.
Lords and ladies, another Rush-like tournament has come to an end.
Ladies.
I'd like to thank all of you who honored this event with your presence. My friends, I'm happy to see all of you, but I'd like to give a special welcome to one guest who found themselves invited here for the first time. Today, we had the Baron, no, excuse me, it's King now, isn't it? Of a majority of what was once the Stolen Lands. Thank you for coming, my darling. I can call you that, right? I thank you with all my heart. I first learned of him from my friend Stefano Mosconi. To be honest, his report was less than flattering. Impassable swamps, monsters galloping about, and a complete absence of any valuable resources. Nothing more than a dirty hole ruled by another bandit lord, hardly worthy of your attention. That's what he wrote back then. I'm so happy he was wrong. Truth be told, even now traveling that domain is a less than pleasurable experience. Some roads have appeared, but their safety leaves much to be desired. Take the sad story of a poor Toman Henvaki from Gralton. He set off to those lands and hasn't been seen since. His brother Edrist went to find the poor fellow, and what happened?
He died.
He returned empty-handed. Tormund seems to have vanished into thin air, like hundreds of travelers before him. At least Edrist
Why are you
was
airing
lucky,
all
I
those?
suppose. He managed to come back alive. That's certainly considered fortunate for those who decide to swing through those lands. And the hunt the Baron put on, clearly imitating my tournament, it was beyond description. While guests were out hunting hydras and owl bears, the latter came from behind and ate at the banquet table, along with all the servants. Some celebration, right?
Show the guests the signet ring with Irovetti's monogram. I too have a most amusing story for you. This ring was given to me by a gnome named Tartuccio on the bloody night when Sword Lord Jamandi Aldori's mansion was attacked. The guests listen to your tale with their mouths agape. Irovetti tries to interrupt you, but everyone's attention is directed to you. Dude, I've been carrying this ring since level 1.
A most amusing story indeed. Unfortunately, it has little to do with me. True, that rascal Tartuccio was spending my money, but he was acting entirely of his own volition.
The guests began whispering to each other, obviously dissatisfied with Irovetti's excuses.
All I really wanted to get at was that His Highness is a personage truly as extraordinary as his lands, and I'm happy to see him at this celebration. And now it's time to announce the winner of the tournament. This year, no one managed to win all 3 contests. Since the victories all belong to our neighbors here and Pitax, as the chief judge, I'll be rewarding the prize to Pitax for their grace and skill.
Diplomacy. Awarding yourself the prize. Such a regal thing to do. I applaud you.
A joke, I was joking. You won 2 contests of the 3. The prize is rightfully yours. Let's hear it for the winner. Your Highness, if you please. I know you're not exactly a master of ceremonies, but please try to say something articulate to my guests.
I wish I had a higher bluff, chat. Look, just to read this. I hope my victory didn't offend. I apologize. It's hard to tone down all this talent. I would love to say that, but there's an extremely high chance it's going to fail. There's like 75% chance it'll fail. So let's go for one of the others. Your Highness, dear guests, attending this tournament was a great honor and a true pleasure. I thank you all for an unforgettable day. F5, you can't F5 in conversations, guys. You can't save it while talking in this game. Despite Irovetti's efforts to smear you in the eyes of the guests, the audience is elated. Your speech garners a hearty round of applause.
And now, with the competition over and the prize awarded, let's get on with the main part of the celebration. The banquet! I can hear your stomachs growling from here. Let's get to the table, and later we'll see an unforgettable fireworks show.
Loading. Unforgettable fireworks show. Sounds like he's gonna have dragons attack the thing or something. Wait for news to come. Okay. Alright. Pitax Riverbend is supposed to be where the pirates are, I believe. Oh, no. Stop. I thought that was gonna cut across the water, and it did not. Wait, Pitax? Oh, I can just enter Pitax? Okay. A whole army of mean-looking guards await us at Pitax gates. They were led by a pompous buffoon named Walsh Sellowy, a Pitaxian magistrate, no less. Leave now, your highness. King Irovetti's orders, he said. We looked at each other and kept what remained of our dignity and turned away. Alright, so that's for later, chat.
Oh, time to get some rest, isn't it?
Alright, so here's where the pirates are supposed to be, so let's rest up.
Why? Why are you so obnoxious, Knock Knock? What have I done to you?
Lindsay talks all the time. Many extra words. Head full of words. don't want that. So please, be quiet. Please, please.
He's like, just stop talking. My tiny brain can't handle it.